What's going on, everyone? Really excited to be here today to talk a little bit about the newly released game Oxenfree on Nintendo Switch, brought to you by Night School Studio. And this is a fun little indie, and the reason why I like it so much is because you get to determine the story, you get to determine the outcome, and you get to determine the relationship between you and your friends. So before I get too far into it, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Visit us at our website, www.redonkulousgaming.com, for more reviews and gameplay videos like this. And make sure you follow us at our Twitter handle. We are at RedonkGaming. So I don't want to get into too many spoilers today, so I just want to give a basic overview of the game and really what the plot looks like and what you can expect. The footage that I am showing here for the gameplay is really not meant to spoil anything. It's very early on in the game. And the premise of Oxenfree is that you and a group of friends go to Edward's Island to really just get up to typical teenage mischief. You're drinking on the beach, hanging out with your friends, picking on each other, and what follows is just a supernatural chain of events that lead you down a twisting and winding story that you can determine what happens next. It starts when you and your friends decide to go explore a nearby cave, and it just so happens that you brought with you this little handheld radio to utilize so that you can communicate with one another. And whenever you utilize the radio throughout your travel on the island, you can typically tap into some supernatural communication of some sort. So really, the main event that kicks it off is you go down into a cave, you're looking at some graffiti, and then suddenly you notice something up on the ceiling, and you stand underneath it, and you take out your radio, and you tune into a specific frequency, and things just start to get weird from there. Now, the great part about this game is that the supernatural happenings that are going on throughout all coincide with every single character. So despite the fact you control one character, you are in constant communication with your group of friends, and you hear, their end of the story through communication through either the radio or the watchtower, as you see here. What is unique about this game is that the story is the game itself. So the story is not just a subplot within the game where it tries to take you from point A to point Z by utilizing cutscenes. It is 100% up to you and your choices. So you'll notice you'll have 3 different options at any given time to respond to what is going on around you. You also have the option to say absolutely nothing at all and completely ignore the conversation, and that itself is going to warrant a reaction from your friends. Now, after the initial supernatural occurrence within the cave, you and your group of friends are split up, and your job is to ultimately go find them and help them and ultimately reunite so that you can all get back home safely. And the great thing about this game is that no matter how many times you've played it before, because it was released in 2016, you can still have tremendous replay value on the Switch simply because your choices ultimately determine the story and the relationships that you take on with the other characters, and that is going to determine what your gameplay experience is like. Your responses also determine the relationships between the other characters that you aren't actually playing. And when you're playing Oxenfree, it actually feels like you are watching a movie or a TV show of some kind, and it's hard to not get into what's happening around you. So despite the fact that you're not playing a game for action purposes and you're actually making choices, conscious decisions that affect where you're going to end up, is what really makes this game unique. So again, don't come into this game expecting cutscene after cutscene. The experience that you get out of Oxenfree is ultimately what you put into Oxenfree. So the story really is your own, and running into cool things like time loops and supernatural beings and echoes and uncovering photographs and letters that help tell the story even more is really where the fun in this game lies. So keep that in mind, that if you pick up Oxenfree today, which is out on the Nintendo eShop today, then what you're signing up for is a story-based game that is a true supernatural adventure. And it is just so much fun to play through and then play through again just to see if you can get a different result. Now, in terms of how it actually plays on the Switch, the only thing that I noticed that was somewhat irritating is that the load times took a little bit longer than what you're used to. So if you have played this game before on any of the other systems, maybe Xbox or PlayStation, the load times are a little bit longer. It doesn't take away from the story at all, but it's just something to keep in mind. So at the risk of overstepping and unveiling any additional plot or storylines, we're going to go ahead and wrap this review up. Overall, I give it a solid 8 out of 10. It is really fun to play, and it's something that has tremendous replay value, and that's really important to me. And the fact that it's only $20 makes it that much more accessible for everyone to enjoy. It's a great little indie, so be sure to pick up your copy today. Thanks for joining me, and be sure to subscribe to our channel. Visit us on our website, www.redonkulousgaming.com, and follow our Twitter handle, @RedonKGaming. Till next time, guys.